Wow, y'all, it is zucchini season. And if you're like everybody else here in the South and probably everywhere else, you have zucchini running out of your ears. Weird. Anyway, I have a brand new recipe that I made the other day, and my fellows fell in love with it, so I have got to share it with y'all. My son calls it a poor man's apple pie. It's a mock apple pie, and you're going to use zucchini. Let me show you what I'm going to do. I've got my zucchinis, and I have washed them really well, and I'm just going to slice the ends of them off. And I'm going to peel them, and you can use your favorite peeler. And you're just going to get this green peeling off of them. Okay, I think we've got just about all of it off there. And you do want to get as much of the green, the light green that's still stuck on it. So let me put this in my debris bowl, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do to this. This was such a surprise. There was a friend of ours said that they had a potluck at their church, and a woman brought this pie, and they all thought it was apple pie, and when they got through eating it, she told them it was a zucchini pie. Mock apple pie. And so I was so intrigued. So I'm just going to cut this in half, and I'm going to cut it in half again. And then, so now, see, it looks like an apple slice. And I'm going to take these seeds out. Now, you can use a knife or you can use a spoon, whatever you want to use. But you do want to get all of these seeds out. Let me get this bowl over here. You do want to get all of these seeds out. I missed a seed whenever I made that other one. And it didn't deter from the flavor. But visually, I saw that seed and thought, I was reminded that it was a zucchini instead of apple. But anyway, the seeds, you know, you just want to get those out of there. And you just take your spoon, get those out. And you're going to need 4 to 5 cups of zucchini slices. Of course, now you could use apple if you had it, but you know, we've got zucchini running out of our ears. Okay, so here we go. Let me get those last couple seeds out of there. All right, there we go. Now I'm going to show you on this one how I'm going to slice it. Let's get those. I missed one. There we go. Okay, just got my measuring bowl, and I'm just going to slice these. And you want to slice them about as thick as you would, if there's another seed, those things are sticky, that you would if it was real apples. So about like that. And it just really doesn't take any time, y'all. Now, if you wanted to make fried apple pies, you could cut them up into smaller pieces. You know, just suit yourself. But you do want them to be pretty uniform. So I'm going to get back with y'all whenever I get these completely ready to go, and then I'm going to show you what we're going to do to them then. So I'll see you back here in a minute. Okay, we're down to the last one. The amazing thing about this, when I made this the other day, the pieces that were the size of an apple felt like an apple when you were eating it. I was shocked. Okay, so there we go. I've got about 4 cups, and it was those. You don't have to be precious about this measurement. You want 4 to 5. I used those 2 large zucchinis, and then you're just going to use a couple tablespoons of lemon juice. If you had fresh, yes, that would be wonderful. But your girl here was out, so we're just going to use our old standby. And I'm just going to sprinkle a little around here on the top, and I'm going to put my skillet on about a 3 to get started. These, you don't want to cook these high and hot and fast. Absolutely not. And I'm just going to go ahead and put these in here. You don't need butter. You don't need anything else. And I'm just going to take a little bit of lemon juice and just sprinkle around on the top. That'll help them with their color. Alrighty. Now, the waiting begins. This is going to take about 20-25 minutes to cook down. Whenever I hear it start to sizzle, I'm going to turn it down on a low because I don't want them to scorch on the bottom. And I've got a little sweet water here. If I think it needs it, I'll put a little more, put a little water in there and let them steam a little bit. So that's what we're gonna do. So I will see y'all back. Look at that, does that not look like apples, y'all? I mean, you wouldn't be able to tell if somebody didn't tell you, you wouldn't know. So I'm just gonna let these sit here and do their thing for a little bit, and well, about 5 minutes until I hear them, and then I'm gonna put a little swig of water in there, give them some stirs, and I'll see you whenever these are ready to do the next thing. And I'm going to loosely follow, because y'all, a recipe is not a legal binding document. Says a girl that just wrote a recipe, a cookbook. I'm gonna loosely follow my apple crisp recipe that's in here, and you could use it. You could use this pie filling. You could use your favorite blueberry pie filling, canned from the store apple pie filling, cherry pie filling, any kind of pie filling that you like that's kind of a fruit thing like that. And I've also baked it, instead of the oven, I've baked it in the smoker. And let me tell you how good that was. It was delicious and larping. I don't hear anything yet. I'll see y'all back when this is ready to do the next thing. It's been about 30 minutes and I've left them on 3. Whenever I made this the other day, I was using the gas stove at the cabin and an iron skillet, and gas just cooks different, y'all. So you just have to know your appliance. But these are, you know, they've gone from the white that they were to kind of a pale yellow, and they've got some give. So whenever you mash on them, they kind of squish up, and you know, they were very, very firm. So you just want to kind of test them out like that. Okay, so I'm going to cut that fire off, move my little cookie bookie over here, and I'm going to mix up the yummy part that's going to make this turn into an apple pie. I have 1 cup of light brown sugar. You can use your favorite light or dark, but it's 1 cup, and you always pack that. I have 1 cup of white sugar, and then in this little bowl, I'm going to read you what I have because I want to get this correct. In this little thing right here, I have, and I'll put all of the recipe. I'll write all that down for y'all. But I have 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, 2 tablespoons of cornstarch, 1.5 teaspoons of cream of tartar, a pinch of salt, and a pinch of nutmeg. And this is going to be gluten-free, y'all. Just naturally gluten-free because I've used gluten-free cornstarch. And I'm going to use some gluten-free bread on the top of it. But that's all the little measurements I was telling y'all about. That's what's in that little dish right there. So we're just going to give this tossed. And then oh boy, that cinnamon just, woo! It lets you know it's in the room, doesn't it? It sure does. Oh my goodness. Okay. So, there we go. Okay, now I'm going to take my apples, zucchini, or as my son was calling it, poor boy apples. And I'm just going to put this in my sugar mixture, and I'm going to give it a toss. And while I'm doing this, I'm going to tell y'all how my mama made an apple pie. And I thought it was the best in the world. She would roll out a homemade pie crust, and then she would put it in her deep dish pie pan. And then she would leave the skin on the apple. And so, therefore, when I would do an apple pie or eat an apple pie, I want the skin on it. I like that texture. But she would do that, and she would put them in there raw. And then she would take about 4 or 5 little pats of butter and put on top of it, and take some sugar. She just used a serving spoon and put 3 or 4 spoons of sugar on it. You don't have to be precious about measurements, y'all. It's going to be okay. And then she would put another homemade crust on top of it. And so this pie, y'all, could possibly be this tall, because she would use all the apples she had, so it was really tall and you know, domed up. Then she put some little slits in it to let the steam escape. And then whenever you get ready to slice it, all the apples would have cooked down, and you would have this big empty hollow place. And I always liked it. I always thought that was the way it's supposed to be. And then you go to other people's house and it's not that way, and you think, well, you obviously did something wrong, because that's not the way my mama did it. But we're just going to give this a toss and get this all mixed up. And see, we had, and I don't really even see any of these trees anymore. My Uncle Dan on the farm, when I was a little girl coming up, he had a June apple tree. And it made the best little tart, little green apples. Oh my gosh. And so whenever those were ripe, Mother and I would go up there and we would just pick those and just, we had apple pies, we had fried apple pies, we had, Daddy loved fried apples just as a side dish with his meal. So we had a lot of that too. And I never see any of those trees around anymore. And of course, that was what you made an apple pie with. You didn't go to the store and you didn't buy an apple. I don't know if she ever bought an apple to make an apple pie with. And so, you know, I don't know. You can use Granny Smith, but it doesn't taste the same to me. Not a bit. Alrighty. Don't know where that soapbox came from. Make sure that fire's cut off. Okay, now I have a deep dish pie plate. And you don't have to grease it or nothing. And I've got it on a cookie sheet, and I've got some parchment paper. Just in case it gets too tall and bubbles over, I don't want to clean it up. So I'm just going to spoon my po' boy apples into it. And if I had gotten a different, hang on a minute, y'all, I don't want to do this slotted one anymore. Hang on. Let me get another one. I'm having trouble with my rotator cuff, so I'm having trouble picking up things like that heavy iron skillet or this heavy bowl right here. But it's going to get better. Now, whenever you bake this in the oven that we have preheated to 400 degrees, that cornstarch is going to help it thicken up. And that's going to make it so delicious. Okay, I think I can. You know, as you get older, the whole body starts breaking down, doesn't it? Mine does. Yeah, me and my rotator cuff, we go round and around a lot. It usually wins, too. You get all that good stuff in there. All right. Okay. Kind of get this flattened out where everybody's kind of even. Okay, now y'all just hang tight and hang on your hair. I'm going to get the stuff that we're going to put on top that's going to make it crisp and give it some good crunch. So, I'll see y'all back here in just a minute. Okay, this is the topping. Now, let me show you my very favorite gluten-free store-bought bread. Not a sponsored video, but this is my very, very favorite. It's a Canyon Bakehouse. Every variety that they make is wonderful. And you find this in the freezer department. It's at some of your health food stores. And what I'm using today is a heritage style honey white. And I just want to show you how big the slices are, because a lot of times gluten-free bread is dinky. Look at that. That's a real slice of bread right there, y'all. And it's good too. So anyway, you can take 4 to 5 slices of whatever kind of bread you like and just put it on top. And let's see here. And it goes. And I tell you what I made the other day whenever I was making this. I used a hot dog bun. And I kept mine over to the side. That I didn't put any on that. But that's what I had in the cabin. I had 4 hot dog buns. And so that's what I used. And I cut them up into little bitty pieces about the size of croutons. Just like this. And waste not, want not. You can use hamburger buns, your very favorite, ones that have gluten in it, y'all. This is not, gluten-free recipes are just regular recipes that you substituted something. So there we go. That is ready for the yummy stuff. So I have 1 stick of some of our homemade butter that we made with the fresh cream. You can scroll back if you want to see that video. I have 1 cup of sugar. In it goes. And I have 1 egg. Now that butter is not hot, so I don't want to scramble this egg. Now I've got 1 egg that I've just kind of beat up a little bit. We're going to put that in there. Alrighty, put you over there. And then I'm just going to get this all mixed up. Now this, we're going to just evenly distribute over top of our bread. So we're just going to drizzle it. like this. And I think I am going to be glad that I used a parchment paper lined cookie sheet. But it sure makes it look good whenever it's gotten too big for its britches and kind of came out of the pan, huh? Absolutely. Looks like somebody loved you when they fixed it. Okay, let's get all that yummy stuff out of there. Did I miss anybody? There's right there, and right there. Okay. Now you're going to want to let this sit here for about 5, 10, 15 minutes or so. You know, you can get this ready to go and then turn your oven on and get her in there. So, but mine's all ready to go. So I'm going to let this sit here for about 10 minutes and then I'm going to pop it in that oven and I'm going to let it bake 40, 45, 50 minutes. I'm going to keep my eye on it until it's golden brown and then we'll get back together. And I did not add the vanilla. Ain't that a bird dog? I had it sitting right there. I have a mental block, I guess. If something has vanilla in it, I can set it. If it was a snake, it bit me, and I didn't put it in there, and it'll be okay. More times than not, my meringue, I forget to put the vanilla in it, but put a teaspoon or so of vanilla in there, or not. It's going to be great either way. Mercy, welcome to real life in a real kitchen. So I'll see y'all when this comes out, and we'll get us a bite of it. Drum roll, please. Okay, so if you've been with me a while, you'll know that my mama always cooled things up on coffee cups, and I do too. And so this is completely cool. We had to do some stuff a while ago, so gave it time to get completely cooled off, but straight out of the oven hot. Woo, ice cream, lousy. It's some good stuff, y'all. All right, look at this. And I'm so glad that I used parchment paper underneath. Does that not look good? Oh boy. Okay, but here's what matters. You can eat with your eyes all day long, but you better get eating with your tongue if you're going to see if it's good. Listen. Oh my goodness. It has been so hard to smell this all this time. And if you are a mind to, if you put up apple pie filling, try it with this, y'all. And you know, the zucchinis are so plentiful in the summertime. It seems like every time you see somebody come down the road, they want to give you some zucchinis. I've got a great zucchini bread recipe for y'all too. Look at that. Look at that. Let's just get us one of, see, now look, now you would not know. Let's see what we think. No, that tastes just like apple. It feels like apple. And it's got a little texture to it, which I like. You can hear it kind of crunch, so it's not mushy. You know, sometimes things get mushy. This is seriously good. Oh my gosh. I better put this down or I'll forget about y'all and I'll just stand here and eat this. This is delicious. Try something new. You know, make your neighbors happy. Make one and take it to your neighbors. Make 14 and take them to your neighbors, because you know we all got zucchini coming out of our ears. And I'll put how to order this cookbook if you want to order this cookbook. I'll put that in the description too. So y'all go try something new and have fun while you're doing it. And I'll see you next time. Bye, y'all.